Is it evening or afternoon? I think they said 6 o'clock is evening. So good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope we all had a good time playing around with Canva. So I've seen a lot of the assignments, and I have to say I'm really, really impressed with the progress basically everyone has made. In fact, I was looking through, picking like the top three top. Hi, Chinaza. Good evening. So like picking through like the top three, this thing is really, really hard for me. I have like a list of like 5 names that I'm still trying to bring down to 3 names. Maybe we'll beg Mr. Godwin to help us increase the size of the prize pool to 5 people because it's really a struggle. But anyway, let's just do like a quick look at what some of the submissions that were made so we can all learn from each other. I'm going to share my screen now. 1 second, let me figure that out. This is the page that has all of the assignments. I'm just going to look at some of the ones that I particularly like, so we don't spend too much time on the assignments, and we can go into our content for today. Can everyone hear me? I got some feedback that my voice was low last week, so please, if my voice is too low, just send me a message in chat. Godwin, if you can unlock, okay, chat is unlocked. So if you can just unlock chat, or just call my attention to anything that I need to follow in chat so I can be aware of that.
No problem.
First one is blessing. Um blessing bless. I'm sorry, your surname I can't pronounce it. I don't want to butcher it. So so this is blessings assignment. Now what I like about this is it's very, very simple. The colors match the red and that looks like us blood kind of color. I like how that matches the red and it's pretty straightforward. I like the shoe. You can use that shoe as an icon. In fact, if your brand is big enough, you don't have to write all of the prestige footwears. You can put only that shoe. And when your brand is big enough, you can just go with that and everyone recognize that this is prestige footwears. So I really, really like this. We're like great job on that one. Let's see another one that was really interesting. The second one that I really liked was from Chinaza. Sorry. So Chinaza's assignment, I'm going to open that now. This Gile designs interior decor. Now, again, what I like about this is the iconography. I like the way the J and the star at the top. It's really, really creative. It's very unique. It's something that is very new. And I like your selection of colors, the very, very light color and the dark green. So that means you really have a very, very good eye for color. And it's really, really encouraging to see that you've learned how to select colors for your business. Ideally, I'll still like to see like the design file. So I'm going to show you guys how to share like a design file on Canva because I suspect some of these assignments I'm seeing here. If you guys are already this good, that means we might not have to finish this training. We'll just end it all today and we'll all go because I'm training some experts. Maybe I should just join the attendees and somebody else will come and teach us because these are really, really good designs. Like I will be very, very satisfied designing this myself and sending it to a client. So I like the font. I like the way you combine the colors. I like that star at the top. It just adds a very, very unique touch to it. So great job with that. Let's see if we can cover like 2 more before we move into today's class. So later at the end of the class, we'll just I will come back with the winners and I will share the design. I'll share everybody's design so everybody can just see what your fellow attendees are doing, and that would encourage you and inspire you on what to do. So the last thing I'm going to share is Umikunde Haizat. If I can find that. Okay. So this is Omikunle Haizat. I like the way this A and O, in fact, this one really impressed me because we haven't even talked about layering, which is part of what we are going to cover today. So see someone do this, and again, the combination of colors is something that is really, really impressive. Because one thing that makes a very, very good design is how you combine your colors and what colors you select. So this is another really good design, good color selection, creative use of fonts, nice way of layering both assignments. So this is really, really encouraging. I really, really am happy that people attended. I mean, there's a lot of them. There's some really, really good designs, and I'm going to share everything in the class. And then we're going to select winners for later. But then it's a 1 hour 30 minutes class. So I just want us to go into what is important for today. 1 second, let me share my content for today. Okay, class, please, they can see my screen. Just God, sorry, you're
Yes,
saying.
I can see your screen. Yes, sorry for interrupting you. I can see your screen. So my
Right?
hand was raised. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes, I can see your screen. Sorry for interrupting you. Please, could you mention the names again, the top three names, so that we could reward them? I want the community
Yeah, so
managers to take note of their names.
I have all of the information, like their names, their phone numbers. I haven't come down to three. I still have like a list of what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So like after the class, myself and yourself, I would send you.
Oh,
We'll just go through it and decide on three. I'll try and beg if I can get five,
okay.
but if I get five, we will settle on the three.
Okay.
We'll go with that.
Thank you so much. All right.
Thank you very much. So okay, you can see my screen. Thank you for the feedback. So today's class, we'll start with a review of our last class. In the last class, we learned some really important concepts in graphic design. Again, running back some of the things that we learned. So we learned file formats, the difference between PNG and JPEG. When should you use PNG? When should you use JPEG? You should use PNG for colorful things that are like graphics. You should use JPEG for like pictures. PNG allows you to save files that don't have backgrounds. JPEG is best for like pictures that involves like a lot of like a subject, a background, and like people in it. So like nature photography and things, it's best to use JPEG. What are something else that we ran through was how to pick colors for your business. I will introduce you to a tool, colors.com basically. And we saw how we can select like very matching colors from the list of randomly generated colors that website generates from us. And I hope that it was something that a lot of people implemented in doing the assignments because there's a lot of color blending going on. So I'm very happy to see that. Again, we learned about color values. There are different ways that we can identify colors. One way of identifying colors is through the hex value. So we learned what those numbers are, how we can use Canva to tell the color value of any picture, any color, anything basically. We also learned about how to create logos with Canva. We also learned about the best practices for designing logo, how to place it, like colors, doing contrast, and saving it with PNG. Right. So those were some of the things we learned in the last class. So at this point, I just want to know in your attempt to design your assignment, like was there anyone that ran into any issues that they want to ask? If like the question, maybe there's something that you found very challenging, or maybe so far in the class, there's something that you want to ask about. This is your chance. If you want, you can either send it in chat or you can raise your hand up, and Mr. Godwin will bring you up to become a panelist and talk about it with your voice. So please, anyone, if there's anything at all that you're struggling with, just raise up your hand. If there's something that was challenging for you from the last class, just okay. So I see Chinaza's hand is raised. So God, please can you bring her up as a panelist so she can just talk about what the challenge is?
Okay, I will do that right away.
Okay. But any luck
Okay,
with that?
Chinasa, you can unmute now.
Okay.
Okay, good evening, Mr. Godwin.
Hi, China.
The challenge, the challenge I had was I wanted to bring in another image, icon
Okay.
that I edited with remove.bg. So when
Okay.
I brought it in, I couldn't change the color. So I don't know if there's a way I can change. Maybe if I bring in another icon or image from my gallery, if I can change the color in Canva.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much for that question. In fact, that's a very, very important question. It's something that we didn't cover in the last class. So when you download an image, so when you see an icon on Canva, for example, now those icons are something we call SVG. Now, SVG is like another file format. So we've talked about PNG, um, we've talked about JPEG. Now, icons on Canva are SVG, like when they are saved on Canva because they are built on Canva. So Canva allows you change the color. SVG is like a file format that you can change the color in. But once you save something as PNG or JPEG, you cannot change the color again. Now, there are some ways you can have it. So if you have an icon that has one single color, I'm going to introduce you to I'm going to introduce you to like that app that can help you just change color of PNG and JPEG. So things that you have removed the background, like if you use remove the object to remove the background, you cannot do it on Canva. But I'm going to show you another way to do it. Just remind me in the group. Just send the message on the group so I can send you that tool. It's an app. In fact, there are so many ways you can do it online, but you can just tap on it and then just change the color to something. Now it might not work very well because it's already a PNG and it has limitations on what colors you can change it to. But like you can try it and see if it achieves what you want to achieve. But basically, the core like thing to remember is that if you have something that you've already done, like you've already like like something that is not on Canva. So those icons you see on Canva they are not really images that you can edit. Like they're images that you can edit, but if you downloaded them, you cannot change the color again. It's just really it's a limitation for what Canva can do. But there are other ways to change color of like normal pictures that you find anywhere and you remove the background. But we'll cover that later. The next person that has the question is iPhone. iPhone, if you can come up, Godwin, please can unmute them and then you can come up and tell us their name and what challenge they are facing.
iPhone has access now.
Yeah. Okay. Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon. Please can you tell us your name?
Okay, my name is my name is Praise, but I think there's a different name there, which is still my name. I think Ify or something.
Okay. Because the name
Okay. So my question is, I've noticed that Canva designs, most Canva colors, they don't have this shiny look. There are some graphics that when you see, it shines and it's very beautiful. That's what, when you give a professional graphic designer to make a design for you, that's what you see as the background. But the Canva pictures are not like that. They are dim. So I was actually thinking that I will not find that as a background in Canva, not until I saw it today. But I don't know how to apply it to my own background.
Wait, so if I understand what you're saying, so you're saying that there are some backgrounds that the backgrounds that you see that Canva gives you is dim, but then you saw a background that you like, but you don't know how to apply it on Canva.
Yes, I wish I can show you the difference. I don't know if there should be where to insert picture here now.
Can you just send that picture on WhatsApp, please? I'll look at it.
Okay, I'll send it to you.
No, just paste it on the group so everybody can learn. So
Okay.
Answer the
All
question.
right. I will mute myself now so that you can go ahead with the class.
Oh, thank you very much. Is there anyone else that wants to share their experience or anything at all? If you're struggling with anything, this is your chance to talk about it. Okay, for the sake of time, I'm just going to move on to the next thing at this point. Okay. Okay, so we run through what we learned last week. Now, some of the things we'll be learning this week is how to use colors. Again, we're going to go deeper into colors. What is the color wheel? We saw the color wheel the last class. That color wheel is that circle thing that has like rainbow color and a plus around it. So we're going to go into it. I'm going to open my Canva app and we'll see what are the different things it offers us, what are the options it offers us. We're going to go into gradient, we're going to go into transparency. Chilas has just talked, sorry, that was Praise at iPhone. I was just talking about backgrounds and how sometimes Canva doesn't give you the best background. So to help you like reach what other professional designers you are seeing do, I'm going to introduce us to a concept called gradients and transparency. Now they really help like elevate the level of your background. We're going to be talking about, okay, basically backgrounds again. Then I'm going to introduce you to a very, very important concept called element hierarchy. Now, element hierarchy, I think the best way to think about element hierarchy is think about pancakes, right? Like you fry your pancake, you bake it, whatever, and then you just stack them on top of each other. So basically, the way your elements, now when I say elements, your element is every single thing that is on your page. The picture is an element, an icon is an element, a logo is an element. Every single thing you paste like on that your drawing board on Canva is an element. So how to stack those elements in a way that makes sense, in a way that you can manage, in a way that looks visually appealing, is something that is very, very important to learn. Another thing is how to use picture frames. One thing that you're going to struggle a lot with in Canva is how to place your image, because sometimes your image, the shapes are, maybe you want a horizontal, like you want an image that has like portrait orientation, but what you have is horizontal. Like, how do you manage it? Maybe your image is too big, your image is too small. So just learning how to manage all of those things is going to be something we're going to cover today. We're going to also learn about how to use stock images. Stock images are those pictures that you can find online that you can use in your design. So there are some different websites that offer stock images. There's Getty Images, but those ones are paid. I'm going to introduce you to a website that offers you free stock images. So even if you don't have like a model, for example, or so maybe like you sell shoes and you want to advertise your shoes, but you don't have like a great picture of your shoes, you can go online. Nike, you're probably selling like maybe like Nike shoes or something. You can go online to Nike website, download some of those pictures, or you can go to like a stock image website, download really anything you need. Like if you need like a picture of a car, if you need like a picture of a sewing machine, if you need like a picture of housing, so whatever field you're into, you can find pictures that you can use to elevate your design. Also, we're going to be talking about how to edit images with Canva. So we're going to cover three main concepts: the effect, the filter, and the shadow. Now, in the last class, somebody asked a very, very important question, where they said that when they do remove.bg and they put the image on the background, for some reason, it doesn't look very good because the image they put just stands out from the design. So I'm going to show you a way to blend it so that it looks like it's not cheaply made work. It looks like you look very, very professional. So anyway, let's dive into some of these things. So now solid colors. So there are basically two kind of colors you can use on Canva. There's the solid color and then there's the gradient. I'm going to open my Canva app now so we can see what the differences are between the solid color and the gradient. 1 second. So currently, please, if you can see my screen, just send me a hi or yes, so I can just be sure that you are following, so that I'm not talking to myself, please. It will be very helpful.
Yes, you can see us.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Okay, so if you see the picture that is currently showing on my phone screen now, you would see that this is like a red picture, but the top is darker than the bottom. Now, this is what you call a gradient. Now, what this gradient is like a combination of two colors, and then you just blend them in a way that it just looks really like it looks like very expensive. It looks really good. Like basically, it's an alternative to having a solid color. So let me show you an example of a solid color. A solid color is just basically one color. So if you want it to put a solid color, you can see at the bottom here I have solid color and I have gradient. So a solid color, for example, if I wanted to go for solid color, it would just be something like red. So this is an example of a solid color, and this is an example of a gradient. Now, I'm going to walk through how did I get a solid color, how did I get a gradient? And in the course of this class, I'm going to show you like the uses of solid colors, the uses of gradients, how is like what is the best time to use each of them. But let's just start with like how do we get gradients and how do we get solid colors? Okay, so I'm going to open a blank image again, back to white. Okay, so now I hope everybody knows how to get to something like this, to get to a blank page like this on Canva, right? So you just open, basically you just select the size of design that you want to create, and then you just open it and you get to this black, sorry, to this white, basically I call this like a drawing board, right? So once you come here, if you want to change, like if you want to get like a background that is a solid color, you just tap on this white thing. And once you see that this purple thing is like around it, that means now you are editing whatever is inside, whatever it is highlighting. If you just think of this purple thing as highlighting something, now you selected something, what do you want to do with it? So once you tap it, you're going to see some options here. You are going to see replace, you're going to see color, you're going to see layers. So now to change the color, you just tap on color, and then you will see this our color wheel, the first one, that circle that has a plus on it. If you tap on it, you will see two options at the bottom. First one is gradient, and second one is solid color. Now, I'll start with solid color. Solid color is pretty straightforward. You've already learned how to use hex values. So I'm just going to type a very random hex value here, and hopefully I can get the color. So let's see ED29. So now this is a yellow color. I'm just guessing. Don't worry about the colors that I put there. You already know how hex colors work. So you can just copy and paste that one there. Now you've gotten yourself a very, very beautiful yellow color. And that's how solid colors work. Now, for if you don't want something like that, you wanted to use the gradients, again is tap on, let me undo what I just did. So we are back on the white screen. So you just tap on this white screen and then you select color. So now when you select color, again, you click on this color wheel and then you click on gradient. Now gradient is going to show you two colors. You can add the top color, right? Sorry. Okay, so gradient can offer you more than two colors. Basically, you can really get as much as you want to. But I'm just going to stick with two colors so we don't get confused. So you in selecting the two colors for your gradient, you can just go tap on the first color here. You just tap on that one there. So once you tap on it, you select your first color. So maybe you can want something that is yellow at one end, and then you tap again, come to this same option, and on the second color here, this one, you tap on it again, and then you select maybe something like green. Now you have two colors, and then something else you can do is how the colors are arranged. Now it is going yellow on the left, green on the right, but on this part that says style, you can tap on the different options to see the different ways. So I'm going to tap on the second one now. Now you see that the green has gone down, yellow has gone up. If you tap on this one, it will kind of like spread it across the page. If you tap on this one, yellow is in the middle, green is around it. If you tap on the last one, the yellow goes to the top left, and then the green goes to the bottom right. Now, this might just seem like I'm playing with colors, but I'm going to show you a very, very nice way to use gradients that's going to really make your designs look very, very good. So now let's go back to the slide. We've learned the concept of solid colors. We've learned how to change like solid color using the hex. Okay, now the eyedropper tool is something I showed you last week. I'm going to show you how to use the eyedropper tool again. Now to use the eyedropper tool, first of all, what is the eyedropper tool? The eyedropper tool is like it's a feature that Canva has to help you identify the hex value of colors. We know what hex value is the code of the color. Now, if you want to get a hex value of any color at all, so maybe you want to reuse it, or maybe you really like the color and you want to get the value and you want to write it out so you can reuse it next time, you just go to color here, you click on your color wheel, and then once you go to solid color, you will see this thing I'm highlighting now, this pen that looks like a pen. You can see it's there. So you just tap on it and then show you this second thing. So you just drag it anywhere. Like if for example, there were plenty colors on our design, you just put it on where you want to know what color it is. And then you just press done and it show you that color here. So now that color that we're interested in is FFF01. And that's what the eyedropper tool. Please, if you're not following, if you have any questions, if I'm moving too fast, if you cannot hear me, please just send me a message. I can slow down or repeat things. Okay? Right. So back to my slides. So now we have covered the solid color and we have covered the gradient color. Now, when should you use solid colors and when should you use gradients? Now, if you use solid color, now you already use solid color in the first design that you've done. In the samples that you did, you used solid color for your logo. So in the examples we saw of the shoe, for example, you can use like a red color for like a red shoe, and that just works. But mostly you use gradients for your background. You use it for things like maybe like small elements around your page. You should really not use gradients you shouldn't like use gradients for too much things because it affects, like if you are putting too many colors in your design, it starts looking really busy. It looks like it gives people a headache basically. So you don't want your customers to look at your design and they're like, I beg, this design is giving me a headache. I cannot stand this. Or imagine your whole brand giving a customer a headache. That's absolute. You're already like losing really, like you're losing customers. You are detracting customers. Like you're not an attractive business. So basically, you should use gradients and you should use like very, very light tones for when you're doing gradients. Don't use very, very like two different contrasting colors. So just blend it. So it will be like red and pink, something that matches. So maybe like a black and like dark blue So like it just blends and it just like, it seems like one color exact. No, you can have, so there's a question there that says, must it be two gradient colors? So you can have two, but in this early beginning stages, I would advise you to stick to two, because the more gradients you use, the more color you're introducing. And really, personally, this is not, it's not a must, but as a beginner, I just think the most important thing you can do is keep your design simple and just build. Like if you want to add color, don't make color the main subject of your design. I'm going to show you like what I mean by that. Like I personally always stick to no more than 3 colors. Like if I'm doing something, one of those colors is going to be white and then 2 other colors. That's just what I always try to do. That way it looks very professional, because there's a trend now for minimalism in design. Like back in the days, olden days, people just try to use like 1 or 2 colors max. So they just keep things very simple, keep things very smooth, keep things like consistent. So there's something, there's a question here. Can't I be one gradient color as the whole background? So if it's one color you are using, it's not more a gradient. A gradient is really like, it could be like different shades of one color. So if I use like a dark red and a light red, for example, it's a gradient, but it's really, you understand the concept of hex. That's 2 different colors. As long as the hex values are different, just make sure that they are like matching colors visually. But you can use more than one, you can use more than 2, but just make sure that it's matching. But if you use just one color, by one color, I mean one hex code, it is no more a gradient, it is now a solid color. I don't know, does that make sense? iPhone/praise. Okay, all right, I'm just going to move on. If you have any questions again, please just let me know what it is. All right, now I'm going to introduce you to the concept of transparency. And we're still going to come back to gradient colors and solid colors in some of the things we are going to, like some of the designs that we have going forward. So don't worry, don't bother about if we haven't like gone deep into it. We are going to come back to it. We're going to review what solid colors are, what gradient colors are. We're going to look at them in designs. So the next thing is transparency. Now, what is transparency? Transparency is really like making your elements see-through. In fact, you know what? So when someone says that something is transparent, somebody just tell me when someone says something is transparent, what comes to your mind? Chat, just let me know. Like what sentence comes to your mind when someone says this thing is transparent? What comes to your mind immediately? I want to see responses in the chat so I know you are following. See through. So Kara is saying what comes to their mind is they see through something. Anybody else has any contribution to transparency? Something they can see through. Okay, so basically that's really what it is. No obstacles. That's a very, very good one. So no obstacles, something that they can see through. Now, when we are designing, a lot of times, and I'm going to show you an example now. If, for example, we have, let me delete this. So for example, now we have like a text here, for example. I'm going to add a text. So this is a text. Right? So this is the text, for example, and you want to place like something else on top of it. Let me upload an image. I'm going to use my hand fan again. Please ignore everything I'm doing. I'm going to show you how to do all of these things later. Right. So now you can see my hand fan and I've placed it on top of that text. Now, can you still see the text? No, you cannot see the text because this hand fan is not transparent. You cannot see through it. Right. Now, it's a challenge when you want to like design something and then another element that you place on the page covers everything. Now, this hand fan here is, it's really, it might not be what we want to use, but let's say, for example, now we wanted to do something like, let me just delete this, like we wanted to place another color on top of this text. So let me do like a small box and I put it on top of it. Okay, so see, for example, now this box has covered this text. Now you can see that there's a problem with this design because we can no more see the text. Now, transparency is in Canva, you can make things transparent. Now, to do that, you just select on the element you want to make transparent, and then you just scroll to the side and you see transparency. Now, this is transparency here. If you just click on, oops, sorry. If you click on it, you will see that normally every single thing on Canva has a transparency value of 100. Now you can just slide this thing, and then now you're beginning to see the text. You can go as low as possible. 0 means the element is no more showing on the page. 100 means that the element is fully there, and then you can not see through it. So basically, that's what transparency is in Canva. Now, all of these things that I'm showing you small, the color, the solid color, the gradient, the transparency, I'm going to show you how all of these things are going to come together to make some really, really good designs. So just give me 1 second. There's some background noise. Let me just close my door, and hopefully that reduces the noise. Okay, so I'm back. All right. So please, does everyone understand the concept of transparency? Like, are you if you open your app now, are you able to make transparent elements? Just let me know, yes or no. Okay, so Hafiz is saying yes. Does anyone understand transparency? Please let me know. Okay, so Arike is saying no. Chinaza is saying no. Okay, so I'm just going to walk through transparency again. Okay, so again, transparency. Transparency is the ability of any element. And by element, I mean every single thing. This text is an element. This box is an element. The image, my hand fan is an element. So an element is every single thing on the page. Transparency just means making those things be able to, like, giving them the ability. So like making them like see through, like being able, so like you change the settings of those elements so that you can see through them. Now, why is this important? It's important because you can use transparency in your design to like have something that has like something on, like another element on top of it, but you can still see the element behind. That gives us like a very, 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 very useful like ability to design things. I'm going to show you how this works. So just calm down. I just need you now to understand the concepts of transparency. You might not get how it's useful for you in the design, and I'm going to show you that. But I just want you to know that the main thing to take from this thing is transparency is making elements see through. You have one thing, you have another thing on top of it, but you can see the one that is under it. That's basically it. Now, let me explain the concept of layering. I think that this is what is something that's going to help us understand this concept. Okay, so I'm going to create like another box. So this is currently on this page, there's a text and there's a box. I'm going to duplicate this box. Now, to duplicate any item, any element on Canva, you just click on this one. This thing that is that has like a plus, so like two things on top of each other with a plus. You just tap on it and it will make another copy of whatever it is that you are currently selecting. So I'm going to tap on it now. There's another box on top. Let me change the color so you can differentiate it. So now we have two boxes. There's a red one, there's a gradient one that is like yellow and green, and then there's the text at the bottom. Now, these two boxes are transparent. That's why we can still see the text. Let me make them not be transparent. So now to change the transparency of any single element, all you just have to do is click on that element. Once you click on it, at the bottom, you would scroll to your right and you will see transparency. This is the main gist. Just scroll until you see select something, scroll until you see transparency, click on transparency, and then just slide this thing here, this transparency value. Currently it's on 62. So you can slide it to 100, and then that means when it's 100, it means that it is no more transparent. Now you can no more see that text behind it because it is 100. Again, if I go again and change the transparency to 0, or to just reduce it to something like 40 or like 8 currently, you can see it. So does that make sense now? Like where we are currently, does it make sense to everyone on transparency? Please just let me know in the chat. Okay, all right. So I'm getting feedback that it makes sense, right? Okay, so back to now, I want to introduce the concept called layering. Now, layering is again like pancakes. I'm sorry, I'm using pancakes here. I'm probably making some people hungry. It's making me hungry myself. It's like laying things on top of each other, right? You're stacking things on top of each other, and then it's going on top of their selves. Now, it is important to know what is on top of what, because say, for example, now, let me put this thing now. If I wanted to select this is a text now, that text that says this is a text, and I wanted to change it, for example, if I'm tapping here, I will not be able to do it because there are two things that are on top of that text. And this is a text is under those two things. Let me show you a visual explanation. Now, if you want to see the layers of your design, just at the, like, just go select the background, like this white thing, and just go to layers. So now you can see layers here. So just select, sorry, I keep doing this. So you select layers, and now you're going to see all of the things that are on your page. Now, the first thing that is on your page is the black background, and at the bottom you would see like this white thing here. That's the thing that is at the bottom. Now that's the lowest. That means it is the thing that has the lowest layer, like this at the bottom of your page. The next thing now is this is a text. Now, why I couldn't tap that this is a text is that if you see that text thing, it is like the second lowest one or the third lowest one. Now, there are two things on top of it. Now, how do I go through these two things and tap this is a text? That is why I'm unable to change it, because there's this red one and then there's this yellow and green one on top. So that is why you have to understand the concept of layering. Now, if you wanted to change it, for example, now if I carried this part now, I'm pressing down on this is a text and I lifted it up to the top. Now you see that if I go back here and I tap this page, now I can edit my text. Now you see I can edit my text now because now I have brought it to the top layer. Now these are very, very important concepts. I'm going to show you how it works. Let me go back to my slide so we can just walk through some more advanced layering and transparency. Now this picture here is a picture that I want to use to demonstrate the concept of background, foreground, and layering. Now, what is in this picture? Like, what I want at the end of this class is that when you see a picture, I want you to just be able to know which one is the first layer, which one is the second layer, which one is the third layer. And then inside your mind, even without Canva, you've already started designing whatever it is you see. So like if someone sends you a design, I want you to become a pro at it and just knowing that how they did this thing is that they first of all put the picture, then they put the text, and then they put this thing, and then they put that thing. And that's how they arrive this. Now, you might not know how to go about all of those things, but inside your head, you've broken it down. And that is the first step to solving anything in design. So now this picture has this text that says background at the back. And then there's this green thing on top of it. And then there's another text that says foreground. Now, this is 3 layers. This is 4 layers of elements on this design. Right, so I'm going to break it down so you see all the different elements. So now the layer 0 is this default white drawing board. Now, just think of it as layer 0. Don't think of it as 1 because it's always going to be there. So I don't want you to count it as 1 or 2. It's the 0. It's by default, it's always going to be there. You can change the color, but you cannot delete it. So this is the first thing that was on this design. And then the next thing that was added to it was this background thing. So I added this text of backgrounds, and this background now is our layer 1. And then the next thing is I added this green box, and I gave it a 85% transparency, which is why if you go back here, you can see what is behind it because the transparency is not full, and you can put something like that in your design, and you can get like a sense of you reduce the transparency, and then you can see the things behind it. And then the last thing was this text of foreground. And basically, that's how you get like a full design. So now you can see it again. You see the background thing. The white background was the white drawing board was the first thing. The second thing was those background text. The third thing was this green box that I put. And then on top of it, I added this text that says foreground. Please chat. Are you following me? I know some of these concepts might seem really it might seem too much. So please just let me know, are you following what I am saying in terms of background or foreground? Okay, so that's really encouraging. I'm seeing some really good responses. Please, I'm seeing the same names on chat. I just want to see different, I want to see new names. If you have not said anything on chat, I just want to see your name. Just tell me if you're following, if you're not. I don't want anyone to feel left behind. I want pros at the end of this class. So please just say yes or no. If you're not following, I'm very, very happy to go over it again. Okay, so it's really, I'm seeing lots of yeses, and that is very encouraging. Just joining in, try to catch up. So Ariola, please, if you are just joining in, we have had 2 classes and we have like recordings of the second class. The first class, there was a problem with the recording, but if you go through the second class, I'm still going to upload that first class, like a recording of what the introduction, the first class was basically an introduction, but if you catch up on the second class, you'll be able to catch up to where we are. So you can just stay on the call and see what we are doing. But if you are not following, just watch the videos from the last class. Okay, so Abiadu is saying to please go over it again. All right, sure, I'll do that. I'll quickly do that again. Now, we have discussed the what layering is. I just showed you what layering is on Canva. Sorry, 1 second. Okay, so layering here is really how we can get like how we can put things on top of put things on a page so that they stack on each other, and it gives you like an arrangement of what or like an arrangement of what is going on. I'm lost. Please can you start with this example again? Okay. Let me go back to this. Let me go back to the slides. Okay, so for this example is one picture, right? Now, this picture here, there are basically 4 main things going on here. Can we say like this, like adding a watermark? No, so it's like a watermark is a layer. It's like a layer, but this is not like adding a watermark. So the main concept that I'm trying to teach here is how to stack things, not how to put a watermark. Like you can say this background, this thing that is like background, 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 background. It's like a watermark, for example. But the main concept I'm trying to teach you is how to like stack things on top of each other and make like really great design. Now, this is just an example that I just thought would help you understand it. I'm going to show you, go into like real world examples, like reusable things. But I just want to use this to explain how a small picture like this that doesn't have a lot going on, how complex it can get in terms of layering, right? So just stick with me, just hold on, just stay with me. We're going to look at a design that is useful for your business. Okay, so now this picture here has 4 main things. If you open your Canva, you're always going to see a white box. Now, this white box is called layer 0, right? It is always going, sorry, let me undo all of those things and open layers. So if you click on layers, there's this option. Oh, sorry, I think my video was off. You would see that there's this option called layers. Now, if you click on layers, you will see all of the things on your page. They will be stacked on top of each other, which is showing you what is on top of what. Now, the first layer, which is layer 0, is this white main thing, this white drawing book that we are seeing here. It is the first thing that is going to be on every page. It is by default, you cannot delete it. So that is why it's at the bottom of this thing, of this. Let me hold it down so you can see which one I'm talking about. So you see this last one here that is highlighted in purple, that's the layer 0, that's the white box. Now on top of it is this one here. This one that is shaking now, it is like a small red box. It is the first layer. The next layer is the second layer here is this green and yellow one. It is the second layer, and on top of it is the text. Now, why I'm showing you this is it just shows you, it's like when you're building a house and you're putting block on top of cement. So you put block, you put cement on it so you can use it and hold the next block. It's really just how things are on top of each other. That's why I brought up the example of pancakes. So like you stack your pancakes on top of it and then you pour syrup on it. Now there's one that is at the bottom that's carrying everything. There's the next one going up basically. Now, why this is important is that sometimes you can have like layers of elements on your page and you might not be able to edit it because because something is at the bottom and then what you're trying to edit is something is covering it. which is why I was showing you this example. That is what led us to this example of backgrounds and, oops. So can you still see my screen? Sorry. I don't think my screen is still sharing now. Okay, I'm going to reshare now. Okay. Okay, can you see my demo screen now?
Yes, yes, we can.
Okay, all right. So now this picture here that says foreground and at the back, it has backgrounds. I'm using it to demonstrate layering. Like, how do you layer things on top of each other? So the first thing on this image is that white background, which is layer 0. So these are screenshots of how I designed this thing basically. So the first layer, the first thing that when I opened Canva, the first thing I saw was this white thing. So that is layer 0. And then the next thing that I added to it was this text that says background. So now I broke it into half so you can see, so I can tell you which layer it is. Now this background thing, I just added it. I duplicated it on the page, and then it was my first layer. Now that is it here. This is it that goes across the page. So after the white thing, what I added was this green thing. And then after that green thing, what I added was this, like this green box. And then to allow you see these backgrounds here, I added a transparency of 85 on this green thing. So now you can see this background text that was under it. Because if I had made it transparency of 100, right here you can see that it says 85% transparency. If I made it 100, you would not see this background thing. And then really, we have lost everything that we did. But now the transparency is 85, which allows you see what the text under it is. And then the last thing I added was this text that says foreground. It's green here, but it was in white here. So basically, I just want you to understand how this picture that you are looking at here, this very, very simple looking picture, how it was built with layers. Like it's just putting some things on top of each other and using transparency to make it so that you can still see what is behind the main, like the content in front. So if you did, people that didn't understand last time, please do you get what I mean now? Like even if you don't understand it fully, but like is it better now before we go into an example that can help you understand it fully? Please let me know in chat if you are kind of picking it up now. Okay, all right. So good feedback. We've kind of understood layering. So now this is an example of a picture that you might be designing for your business, right? You might want to design. So maybe, for example, you sell jewelry, for example, and you want to make a graphic to advertise your product. And you design something like this. Now, this picture is very, very nice. There's nothing really wrong with it. But if you can see that the text, because love does not cost a thing or two, it's not very, very visible. And that's because we just put a text on an image. And the image that we put here is a very, very light image. And we used white to write that text. So it did not, let's see how we can do it from scratch. Okay, we'll come to that. Sorry, we'll come to that. And so let me just explain this example. And because of the text is white and the image itself has like a very light background, it's really not very, very visible. Now, how layering can help you, layering and transparency, how it can help you. The next image now, what I did is I put this image, I put the picture of the ring, then I put a small box, I used it to cover the image, and then I put that text on top of it. Now, I reduce the transparency of that box that I put on top of the image to like 85. And now this is the result of that. Now, can you see how this layering and transparency is a very, very important concept? Now, this picture versus this picture, you can see the difference here. And all we had to do was just put something between the picture and the image and just reduce the transparency of that so we can still see the image that is behind. And basically, we've just made this a very much better picture. The text is very like clear, and then the logo is very clear. Please, does anyone, like, are you appreciating like I don't understand this one, sir. Okay, let me go back. So this is a very, I think this is a very challenging concept. So we might have to like do it in more than one class. So basically, I'm going to go into Canva to redo this again now. But what we have here is a picture of a ring. So like just delete with your mind, help me delete this text here. Delete the text and the photo. Okay, you know what? Let's do it in Canva. I'm going to go to Canva now and do this. So I'm deleting everything now. So now we have a fresh page. So let's think of this white page now is layer 0. So please just write down layer 0, whether it's in your book or just note it in your head that in your mind that this is layer 0, right? So now we are currently on the lowest layer. And then what we did, how we designed that picture with this thing is, so we go to elements, we find a picture of like a ring. Hopefully I can find a free picture of a ring. Okay, so I have this one now, for example. So I use this one. So I'm just going to make it full across the page. So now we have this picture now, we've added it to our page. Is everybody following at this point? Please just let me know in chat if you're following. Okay, so everybody's still following at this point. Okay, now that we've added this image, the next thing we do is, so let me just put a text here, for example, to demonstrate what I meant. So this is our marketing line. So I'm just playing with this marketing. And let me change the color to white. So basically, I'm just replicating that image that I showed you, right? So now you can see that this is not very clear. The background and the picture, the background and the text, because they are both like really light colors, the text is not showing very well. Now at this point, we have three layers of elements here, and I'm going to show you that now. Let me click on this and go to layers. So now you can see that there are three things. There's the default white background, there's the image, and the text is on top of it. Does everybody understand up to this point? Okay, so I'm seeing some yes. Okay, so what I did in that image that I did was, in that image I showed you was, all I did, I just went to elements and I selected this box. So this, if you go to shapes, there's this box here. Now this guy is going to be your, very big, he's going to be your good friend because you can really make it into anything you want. So I just click on the rectangle shape here. Once I click on it, it goes on the page. Now it's on the page now and it's covering the picture fully, but the text is still showing. That's because if you go to layers, you would see that it is under the text, but it is covering the picture. Does everyone understand this layers page that I'm showing, please? Okay, great. Now, why? So we understand why it's covering the picture now, because this our gray box is on top of the image. Now, this is not what we are trying to achieve. We still want people to see those rings. What we just have to do now is go to click on this gray box, go to transparency, and just reduce the transparency to like 8 something. Now we can see our text. Now this gray is not very flattering. I'm going to pick something like pink to really, this is perfect. And let me reduce the transparency more. So this is basically what we did in that picture that I was showing you. Please take a step back to layers. Okay, back to layers. So now again, it's from the bottom is the white text. Next thing that is on top of the white box is the picture. On top of that, we have this our purple looking like element, and then we have the text. So I just wanted to, the point I just need you to grasp here is that you can use something like this our purple box. You can use it as a layer to like put between your image and your text to help lift the text so that you can see your text basically. And basically using this, you are learning the concept of layering and like stacking elements on top of each other. Sorry, is this clear now? Chat, I need feedback so I know what, okay, so I'm seeing this is clear. So Favor Chuku is saying that it is clear. There's a message that is asking a question here. How did you select the purple box? Okay, so I'm going to go back to how I selected that purple box again. So how I did that was, let me undo what I did. Now to select anything on Canva that is not an image. So whether you want like a picture, so anything, just go to elements. So under here, design, there's elements here. Just click on elements. And immediately you click on elements, you can search for a box. So maybe instead of, you can search for a box, for example, you search for box, and then you see under shapes, you just pick this rectangle one. So once I select it here, it's just going to come on the page. Now, it could come on the page and be behind the text. It could come on the page and be on top of the text. So now let me use layering and show you now to put it on. If I wanted it to be on top of the text now, for example, you just go to click on this white thing, click on layers, and then you just drag it. Again, very, very important concept in Canva, drag and drop. So you just drag it here and then you just put it on top. Now it is covering the text. Let me cover everything. So now this box is the first layer here, which means it is the most prominent thing on the page. It is the thing on top of everything. And now it is covering every single thing on this page. Again, if I wanted to like take it under the text, I just drag it under this text that says, this is our marketing line. I just put it under it. Sorry, let me do that. So now it has gone under that text now, and you can see that the text is now showing now. I wanted to take it back behind the picture. I just drag it again, put it under the picture, and now it is behind the picture. I hope that clarifies how to use layering up to this point at least. Who asked that question? Okay, so I think everybody is fine with it now. So let's go back to the slides and basically walk through it. So I think we all get how this picture was made now. Again, we put a text on top of it and then we put the logo. But because we don't like the way this text is, it's not showing very, very well. So we added like, so just think of it like something between the image and the text to help us show the text, and just really, that's how we used it here. But there are really different ways to use like layering to like make your design. So now this is the image that we arrived on. Now you understand why this image is much better, because there's a layer of an element between the text and the image. Is it right to place the square image in the corner of the image and transparent if you want? So basically you can do it anyhow you want, as long as what you want to, it depends on what you are trying to achieve. If you want, and I'm going to show you another image that doesn't cover the whole thing. So it's not like it could be on the corner of the image, right? So just hold on with me, right? We'll get there. So basically, let me go to the next thing. So now again, transparency. I'll show you what transparency is. So now this text here that says 10%, 20%, 30%, they are the lowest layer, like they are at the back of this image. And I have put this green, like the green, I'm not showing you this one to try and understand how to build it. I just wanted to show you how 10% transparency, like you can still, like this green thing that is on top. So the green one that is on top of the one that says 10% is the green box is 10%. That's why it is very, very clear. The next one is 20% transparency, the green box. It is a little bit clear. It is not as clear as 10%. So going on 30%. And by the time it gets to 100%, you can no more see the elements there because it is no more transparent at all. Right? Does that make any sense? Basically, I'm just illustrating how transparency works here. Don't bother about this image. I just wanted to show you, like, you really can go on any value of transparency you want, so you can play around with it. It doesn't have to be 10. You can be 44. It can be 43. basically you just use it to your taste, how you want it to look like in your design. The next thing I wanted to show was working with picture frames. Now, picture frames is going to be something you're going to love because it's going to be something that's going to help you like in your design anytime that you want to add picture. Sometimes you add a picture on your page and then it just sits there, it's too big, it's too small, and it's just a challenge. Now, picture frames allows us to take our design. So like, let's say you, for example, you have a picture like this now, you sell sneakers, for example, and then you wanted to put your picture, but then you put it on top of it like this, and see the way the text is on top of the image, it doesn't look very good because you haven't used the picture frame. Now, if you use a picture frame, you will see that you can do something like this. Now you just put the sneaker to the side and then you put it in a frame. This thing that has like a cloud and green thing, that is the picture frame. I'm going to show you how it works in Canva. But for now, I just wanted you to see how the difference between these two pictures, where you just put the picture that you uploaded on Canva here versus using the picture frame, and how that kind of elevates your design. So now let's go to Canva and see how we can use picture frames, for example. So back to Canva, I'm going to delete everything on this page. So we have like a plain white picture. Okay, so let me demonstrate it with this image that we already have, right? So say for example, now we wanted something like we've added this image now, but we want like space at the bottom, this white place, like we want more white space to write something. Now, if we squish this image up, what it just does is now we are not seeing the top of the image. It's really looking, it's a struggle to like fit it in because this image is bigger than, we can adjust it this way, but now it is too much. I don't want it to be this much. I don't want this much white space. Now, a way to address that and just determine how much space your image can take is the use of picture frames. Now, to select a picture frame, you just go to elements. So you click on element here, and then the first thing you see is shapes. Then, sorry, let me delete this search. So this is what you will see on elements. It will show you the things that you have recently selected. It will show you stickers. It will show you photos. It will show you videos, audios, chats, all of those things. Just continue scrolling now until you get to frame. Now, if you select a frame is like, I'm going to select the first one now. I just pick it, I just tap on it and it will come to my page. Now, how this works is that you can use it to determine the size your picture is going to take. So instead of like cropping your picture and everything, you just decide, okay, I want my picture to be this big. You just design, like this is the size of the image frame I want. Once you have settled on that, all you just have to do is carry your picture and then just put it on top of it. Bam, and that's it. It will sit down there and just be there. Now you can move your text anyhow. You can really do whatever you want. And that's how picture frames work. Does everyone understand what I just did now? I need to show it again with the picture frames. Please let me know in chat. Please take a step back on how you pick the frame. Okay, some people understand, some people do not understand. I am going to do that again. Right. Okay, so picture frame. What picture frames help you achieve is it helps you basically determine the size of space, because managing space is one of your biggest challenges as a graphic designer. This small box here, we might want to have like so much information here, and sometimes we might not be able to fit all of the information we have. There's someone that has their hands raised in class. Abdul Hafiz, please, do you have a question? If you don't have a question, if you have a question, just type it in chat. If you don't have a question, just you can just lower your hand, please. So I don't think you have a question. That would be helpful. This means it shapes your picture. Okay, yeah. So that kind of it. So that's useful. It's okay. Abdul Hafiz, please can you type it in chat, please, because we are running out of time. I just want to cover the concept of picture frames. I'm sorry, Godwin. This is not a poll for today. So Abdul Hafiz, we'll come to your question, please. I just want, because we only have like 30 minutes more. I can call if you can, if we have time at the end of the class, I'll address your question. Or if we don't, you can send me the question on the WhatsApp group and I'll answer. Okay, yeah, you can type it out. So now again, to select picture frames, back to picture frames. What picture frames allows us to do is it allows us determine the size that an image is going to take. You can only use picture frames for images, basically. So the challenge again for why you want to use picture frame is to determine how much space your picture is going to take. So let's say, for example, now I have an image, for example, that is this. Now, I want this image to I want it to be on the side. I just want it to take like space. I just want it to take like half space on my page. I don't want it to cover everything. Now, this picture here is like, it's a rectangle picture, right? How do I make it cover from up to down? Like it's really not long enough, as an example. So now if I wanted to do that, what I can just do is come to elements, come to this element here. Once I click on elements, I just scroll down to select a picture frame. What you just have to do is click on elements and scroll down to frames. So once you click on frames here, what this frames just does is it really, like, think of it like telling your picture, see this picture, this is all this is all the space you're going to get. You're not going to go beyond this space, because I don't want to start confusing myself, like what space am I going to allot to this picture. So now this picture frame, you just stretch it however much space you want. So every part that it covers is going to be covered by your picture. So now that the frame is there, if you already have your picture, so let's say, for example, it's a picture that you uploaded, for example, you just go to upload. Let me see if I can upload a picture from my phone. Hopefully I have something that is useful. Okay, so this, for example. So I've just uploaded the picture on Canva now, and I'm going to select it. So if after you upload, what you just have to do to select it is just press it, and it will bring it to your page. So now that I have selected my picture frame, all I just have to do is hold on to this picture and just drag it and put it on top. Now, even as you're getting on top of it, you already see that it's already previewing it on top of the frame. So once you just leave it on top of this page, it will just be there. Now you can go in, tap it, you can double tap it. Once you double tap it, it allows you to, like, what is going to be showing. You can slide left and right to decide which part is going to show. So now you can leave it like this, and now you can add your text on the part that is white. And that is how picture frames work. But is it clear now? For the people that said they didn't understand it the last time, does it make sense now? Please just let me know in chat so I can know how to proceed. So Abdul, I see your question. I'm going to answer your question. So just please, let's go forward. Okay, so very good. Everybody understands how the picture frame works. Again, maybe you are shy in the class, you don't want to drag the class back. It's very fine. You can always send a message on the group. My number is there. If you want to send me a personal message, or if you want something you want to discuss, and you think maybe you don't want to feel embarrassed or anything, maybe you want to ask a question, I think it's a question that you should understand already. It's fine. You can send me a personal message. Ideally, you can send it on the group chat so everybody learns from what you want. But if you want like personal feedback on your design or anything, you can send it to me and then you can walk through it, right? So some of the questions here, is it possible to use 2 picture frames? Yes, it is possible to use 2 picture frames. You can use as many picture frames as you want. You can use 10, you can use 100. Again, you're going to be struggling with space. So learning how to use. So one thing I can advise you is go to Canva and just go to like templates on Canva and just see the different ways. Any picture you see on Canva, basically, just imagine how you can use a picture frame to remake that image, basically. So now you don't have to worry about the size of your picture, the orientation of your picture. Now you already know how to use picture frames and just adjust any image that you want to put. So you can use more than one, basically. Can you write it in a slang way? Yes, you can put it slant. Now, to make anything slant in Canva, you just tap on it. Once you tap on it, you would see there's these two arrows. These 2 arrows here that are in circular way. So you can just hold it. If you slide it up, it is slanted. If you slide it down, it goes like that. So basically, you can just play with it. So say, for example, you wanted something like this, for example, you can leave it like that. Absolutely, that's fine. You can do anything with it. And this is not the only frame that is here. I'm just using this one because it's the simplest one. So let me just delete frame, basically. If you go to elements, under this frame, you can click on see all, and then you can see all of the different ones. So there's this one that is a triangle, there's film and photo, there are devices. So for example, you wanted to click on something like a phone, for example, and maybe you wanted to tell people like you have a mobile app for your business, or maybe they can how they can like some of the products that they have that you have on your phone. So you can use this iPhone frame, for example, and then just upload a picture on it. Let me do that. Let me upload a picture on this. So you see, you just put it here, adjust it, and then you can say something like food is ready. Order your breakfast on I don't know what's the name of your app, or no, what's the name of your business on Glovo or Rebecca Charles's restaurant, something like that. You really can, the possibilities are endless. You can do anything with frames. It just really allows you to like decide how much space an element is going to take. I mean, the write up. Yeah, you can write any. So basically, the text there is really up to you. You can decide however you want the text to be. It's up to you. You can write anything you want. But basically, as long as you're communicating to your client in a way that is attractive, it's really up to you what you write. You can use slangs, you can use pidgin, you can use Yoruba, Igbo, anything. You can write anything. Now to Abdul's question of is it possible to make a layer invincible while designing? Yes, you can make a layer invincible while designing. Now, how you do that is with the use of transparency. So say, for example, you want to make this iPhone, this picture that we have here now, for example, you want to make it invincible, right? All you just have to do is you click on it and then you go to transparency. Once you go to transparency, now currently the transparency is on 100. That means it is 100% visible. You just make it 0. And now it is no more there. It's still on the page, but it is no more showing. Does that answer your question, Abdul? All right, thank you. So let's just go back to our slide so we can complete some of the things that we wanted to do today. So again, we've seen how frames can help us like fit our images into our designs. This is the first example we saw. This is what a frame would look like on it. Now, this picture here brings everything that we have learned together, right? It has an element of everything. It has layering, it has transparency, it has gradient, it has solid color, it has frames and everything. Now, this picture, I just want, is anybody confident enough to just like come up? I don't want you to design it. I just want you to tell us how, in your own words, how this picture was designed. Like, first thing that the designer did was they added a frame, and then they did this, and then they did that. Can anyone raise their hand and just come up and explain how they think this was done? If you're confident enough that you think you can just run through it. Okay, so I'm seeing 2 hands raised. Abdul, is your hand still raised from the last time, or is it a new question? Are you raising your hand for this one? New. Okay, so like, Gordon, please, can we bring, let's bring, I think I've interacted with Abdul. Let's speak with Aboyeji. Let's hear from Aboyeji how this was made, please. Can you unmute Aboyeji so you can talk?
He has access now.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Hello. Hello. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
With this image, I think the background, they did use a black background.
Okay.
And then by the side, they put the picture frame.
Okay.
To input the car.
Okay.
Then the text. They put the text, then the shape. They did the solid shape and the gradient. Then they reduce the transparency.
Yes.
We do the transparency, and I think the transparent after the background, then we have the shape with the transparent shape, then we have the text on it.
Yeah.
Then they input the design of the distance by the left hand side.
That is lovely. In fact, I'm very, very happy that someone can explain how this picture was made. Does anyone want to try? Maybe there's something maybe Aboyeji might have missed. If you still have your hands up, you can explain. Can we bring up Favor Chukwu and let's hear her take on it. Okay, so Favor, we can hear you.
Okay, good. Thank you so much, sir. Good evening.
Good evening.
Can I be heard?
Yeah, so just tell us how you think this image was made.
Okay, I think I joined the class late, but from the explanation, using the layers, like you said, I think every element that is needed were picked, and then they're all on layers. And then the way you want them to appear, you place them in your layers, and then you start your work by the background, then you pick your image, put your text, then the transparency, the red box, and every other thing you need. But basically, my understanding is that you just make sure they are all on layers, how you want them to appear before each other. Then you start all your editing.
All right, thank you. Let's hear from Chinaza. Let's last person so we can. Sorry, no, so let's hear from Wale and Moshe. Sorry, Chinaza, I'm not ignoring you. I'm trying to hear from people that I have not heard from, please. Let's hear from Mashud, please.
Hi, good evening, sir.
Hi, good evening.
Thank you for the lecture. What I understand about the design is the background is black, according to what you said then. The background is black. And I think it's 2 layers from the onset. Like,
No,
so that, I think
this
it's 2 layers.
no, it has more than 2 layers. So again, every single thing you put on a page is a layer. So currently on this page, this black background is the white layer 0. So I just changed the color to black. So that's the first thing. And then the second one is this image frame. That is the second one. The third one is this red thing, because it is, if you see that the text is on top of it, our logo thing on top of it. That's the third one. There's the text, then this white thing that looks like a gray track, and then the logo. So there are plenty layers, but just continue. Now let me hear your take.
Yeah, I really want to talk about the red part of it.
Okay.
The red part of it, like they search on, according to your explanation, you search a frame, or yes, a rectangle frame, and they add it at the middle. So that's where the transparency of a thing comes in. They try to yes, I think yes, that's what I get. Like,
thank you. Let's hear from who else is hand is still up. Let's hear from Kevin. Hi, Kevin. You can talk now. Good.
Yes, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon, Kevin.
Good afternoon. Yes, with what I see,
Okay.
I think it's a frame.
Okay.
First, then the image was imputed on one side, and the background is black. The image was imputed on one side. Then a shape was selected and put in the middle. That's the red one.
Yes.
Is a shape selected, put in middle, and then colored. After that, transparency was set, and then the write-up was made on it. Then after the write-up is now the racetrack design, the logo, and the with the websites.
That was perfect. That's the fact. It's really encouraging to hear you say that. Like, hopefully, I don't know how much of design you knew before, but to hear you talk about all of these things in a very, very expert way, it's very encouraging. Okay, so let's just go into the design. Let me just explain it. So basically, in fact, it seems like most people in the class understand it. It's really just a combination of everything we've learned in this class. It covers picture frame. The picture frame is the car. So now we use the picture frame to decide how much space that car is going to take. Then we used, on this red thing, we did transparency and we used the gradient. So if you look at the top, it has red, at the bottom has something like black. So we use the red at the top and black at the bottom for our gradient, and we use the transparency so we can see the car that is behind it under it, so it doesn't cover all of that. And then layering is how we placed the image behind it. We put the red thing, and then we put the text on top of it. So basically, these are the concepts that we learned today. Now, I promise you that we're going to use all of them. And basically, this is us doing everything. Everything that we've learned in today's class is happening right in this picture. So you understand that these are not just abstract concepts. You might not be thinking about it like, okay, well, let me put layering in this picture. Let me put transparency. It's just something, just think about this, like these are tools, like you are building. Sorry, can you guys hear me? Someone is saying no audio. I just want to know if it's a me problem or if it's.
We can hear you. Probably he has network issue.
Okay. All right. So I'm just saying, like, think about all of these things that you are learning as different tools to achieve a design goal, right? It's no, don't confuse that. Don't think of it like, hey, it's too much in my head. Like, how do I remember all of these things? Just know that you can do layering, you can do transparency. You don't have to use it in every picture, but like if you need to use it, you just know that you can always just like bring out something from your toolbox and then apply it here. Now, all of these things. Now, for example, if I know in the last class, I completely did this design because someone told me they were into like auto sales, like maybe they were into like selling cars or something. Now, if you were posting pictures of your cars, like, or maybe you were just snapping picture and you're telling everybody, they sell car, they sell car, they sell car, versus doing something like this. Now, if I saw a picture like this, I'm going to be thinking, this Kaza website, maybe they have like venture capital money, maybe like they have some Oyibo person that is sponsoring them. They have like a team of marketers, they have a team of graphic designers. Really, it's just really that concept of visual perception. That's really what we are going to be learning all through this class. It's not, the goal is cover we are learning, but the ultimate goal is visual perception of your business. Like, how am I elevating the perception of my business from people that are coming across it? So basically, this is just something that you are seeing, and it's really already looking like a business has taken off. This looks like a business that has taken off. Like, this business has raised like $2 million from angel investors. That's what I'm seeing. Like the naming, you just have to think of like creative ways to just like advertise and brand your business. And that's the goal. That's what I just want everyone to understand in this business. Like the design might seem hard, but just understand where we are going. Canva is just a tool to help you like do all of these things, right? This is another one again. It's really, you could be selling something simple like sneakers. Maybe you don't have inventory, but then the sneaker you are selling, Nike is doing it. Somebody else has a great picture of it. You take that picture, you put some text here. I've never been to the moon. No one has been to the moon. It's Space Drip. It's really just a name I came up while I was designing this thing. But the packaging is already like beginning to make it look like somebody's going to see this thing and they're like, these people like the original that they sell because of how all of these things are put together, right? You just make a consistent, you can decide that this blue and yellow is your color. All of your elements you're going to be creating are just going to have all of these things, basically. That's just what I want everyone to be thinking about, like going forward. Like every single thing you are doing for your business, every marketing thing you are doing, just apply some of these tools that just make your designs look cool. Like make your business look very, very cool. Make it look like really special. Make it look like something that thought was put into, basically, which leads us to our assignment for, they're going to submit not tomorrow, but I just want to see the assignment next week, by with the end of next week before everyone goes on Christmas holidays. Basically, I want everyone to, okay, sorry, one thing, I promised you a design tool of the week for every week. Now, pexels.com is a website that you can go to get, I might be going a little bit over into this class, like in terms of time, but just bear with me. Maybe we might go over like 5 minutes. So this website is for if you want like stock images for your photo, like for your designs, for example. So you see now in Canva, for example, let me show you a limitation. So we're looking for a picture of a ring, and we're seeing some that it was telling us was not free. Let's go back and look for ring. So if I pick this one, for example, now that it says Pro, now you see what it is. It has a watermark, so you see it very well. You see the Canva watermark there, for example. So you might not want to use this because you don't want this Canva thing showing in your designs. So what this pexels.com website does for you is that you can go to pexels.com and then just search for like anything you want, basically. Like you just, let me open it, pexels.com. Sorry, permit my this thing. Okay, but basically it's pxels.com. I think I'm having network issues. I'm going to paste it in chat. So once you go there, all you just have to do is search for it, and then it would, let me try Googling it first. Okay, so this is the website. So all you just have to do here, for example, you just come here, you search for ring, for example, and you just click on search. Now this website gives you free images. Now you see that image that we used in our example. This is where I got that image from. Now, this is royalty free. You don't have to pay for it. All you just have to do is click on free download, and then you just download it, basically. Download, and then you can just upload it on Canva, and then you can use it without having any of those watermarks or anything. So this is just a free website that you can, this is another example again. So maybe you sell cars, for example, and then you need a picture of a good looking car. You just come here, cars. So these are pictures of different cars that are free, that are not going to ask you to pay money or anything. So pexels.com is a really great site. I'm going to introduce other ones for you, but going forward, it might be in other week's design tools of the week. So which leads us back to our assignments. Don't think that I have forgotten. So basically, we're supposed to cover editing images in Canva, but we're going to move that tomorrow because our time is fast spent. But the assignment for today and tomorrow, so I'm not going to give you an assignment tomorrow. This assignment is going to be, you're going to create 2 designs, and it's going to be, you're going to create 2 designs for your business. And then in those 2 designs, each of them, I want them to have at least 8 layers of elements. So 8 things, like they're going to be 8 like elements on your page. Yes, pexels.com. So 8 layers of pictures, 8 layers of elements on each picture. So I want it to be like a picture that has a lot of things going on, right? I want you to use transparency, whether it's in text, maybe you write a text and you make it to be 80% transparency, or it could be a box, or it could be an image. I just want transparency. I want you to use a picture frame in that design. I want you to use gradient in that design. I want to see some text there, and I want to see your logo on it, right? And again, keep it simple. Like I advised you, one of the biggest mistakes beginners make is using too much color. You just stick it to like 3 colors max, white for your text and 2 more colors. The 2 colors could even be 1 color that you just change like to a lighter color and a darker color, like a lighter shade and a darker shade. Don't make it too complex. I don't want to see too many colors, because really you have to really know how to use colors well before you dive into using plenty colors. For now, I'm just going to let's just make it simple. Design 2 different things for me. We didn't get to see how gradient was used in this class. I showed you how gradient was used now in this image. This image has gradients here. This is the gradient, the dark color of the red, and at the bottom it has the black. So that's a gradient. So maybe in tomorrow's class, we'll design something together where we would, like in like a real time, we'll design a gradient. So pardon me for that. This is an example of a gradient, but in tomorrow's class, we'll go into how to do a gradient. So this assignment, you're not submitting it until you have all of next week to submit it, up to Friday, basically. And again, there will be a prize for the best designs I see. But as for the assignment, I'm going to take a screenshot of this particular image and send it on the group, so you can reference it when you want to do your assignment. Again, design 2 different graphics, not one. Just do 2 different things for your business. And this is something that you can post on your social media page after you are done. Have 8 layers of elements. I want it to be busy, like not in terms of color, in terms of elements. Put plenty things on top. Put your logo, put a picture, put a frame, put some small design, put a gradient, put like a text, put a logo, put things on top of it. I just want to see like a fully designed graphic, 2 of it, and then let it have all of these things. I think that leads us to the end of the class. Does anyone have any question regarding today's class? I might not be able to answer everything, but I'll just bring it in so we can continue tomorrow. So please, if you have any question, this is your time to ask. If there's something you didn't understand, if it's something I can cover now, I'll cover it. If it's not something I can cover now, I'll let you know and we'll cover it in tomorrow's class. If there's no question, please just let me know if you got any value from the class. Was this class helpful for you? Yes or no? I did not enjoy the class. If you did not enjoy it, let me know. If you enjoyed it, please let me know. So the deadline for the class is next week, Friday. Thank you very much, Abdul. The clip, okay, we'll try and get the clip today. I'll get you the clip today. Thank you so much. I'm seeing a lot of feedback. So Godwin, over to you. Thank you so much. So I'll try and get the clip ready for the class today so you can use it for designing your assignments. You have up till next week, Friday, to complete your assignments. So thank you, Godwin.
Hi, thank you so much, Godwin. That was really, really good. I had fun, and I'm really surprised. Like a lot of your would I say students are really doing so well, and it's making to wonder whether we already have pros here, acting as if they are learners, but it's I know it's just because they are, following through the lessons and keeping in touch with the assignments, and it's really amazing seeing the outcome. And like you mentioned, we are going to reward those that have the best assignments. So please take your assignments seriously and make sure you do them in due time and submit. And for those that keep complaining that they didn't see any link, just drop a message in the WhatsApp platform. We'll have community managers that are there to always respond to your questions. We have Michael, we have Juliet, and they are very proactive. They always respond to your messages on time. This was really amazing. I really want to appreciate every one of you that have been consistent from day one. Like I said, you are not actually doing it for us, you are doing it for yourself, because I always say this: skills will always open doors for you. People will pay for value. People don't pay for because they just know your name, or they pay for the value that you bring. And when you are bringing value to the table, you always have a lot of opportunities out there. So please take these skills very seriously. And I believe that every one of you are going to do well in your personal businesses, in your brands, and even those that want to, use this skill in their careers. Please do follow us on all social media platforms, Adara Foundation on LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram, X, which is also Twitter. And like I mentioned the other time, I said for you to be eligible to get your certificates, you need at least 70% attendance. And that's what makes you meet the criteria to get your certificate at the end of each course. Tomorrow will be the last training session for this year, and we'll reconvene next year. We'll put all the information on the WhatsApp group. So please don't leave the WhatsApp platform in case you don't hear any activity. We are just, on a resting period. We understand that every one of us have to, go and relax and enjoy the Christmas Eve. So please come tomorrow, fully ready to learn something impactful and meaningful. And I wish you all guys, I wish every one of you the best. So that will be all from us from Adara Foundation. Do have a good evening. Bye, guys.